Chapter number 8, Motion. Equations of motion. There are three equations of motion. First equation is known as equation for the velocity time relation, which is v is equal to u plus at, where v is the final velocity, u is the initial velocity, a is the acceleration, and t is the time during motion. Here, this is called velocity time relation because it has velocity and time in it. Second equation of motion is called equation for position time relation, which is s equal to ut plus half at square. This equation is called position time relation because it has variation in the position, which is distance, and time in it. Third equation of motion is called equation for position velocity relation, which is 2as equal to v square minus u square. Here, this is called position velocity relation because it has position and velocity in it. We have to derive all these three equations one by one graphically. So for that, let us start with the first equation of motion and understand how to read the graph here. You can see graph starts from A to B. That means an object is moving from point A to point B, and it already had started with some initial velocity at time t equals to 0, which was small u. After reaching B, it receives or acquires a velocity, let us say small v. Here, an object changes its velocity from initial velocity u to final velocity v in time t. Then, as shown in the graph, OA is the initial velocity u, OE is the final velocity v, OC is the time taken t, and BD is the change in the velocity v minus u. Now, from the velocity time graph, you very well know which quantity you can measure or you can calculate. You can calculate acceleration. The acceleration of the object under the velocity time graph is given as acceleration is equals to change in the velocity upon time taken. Now, do you know what is change in the velocity? The change in the velocity is given by BD and the time taken by OC. So, you can write acceleration from the graph is BD upon OC. Let us put the values. So we get acceleration is equals to v minus u upon t. If we shift t over that side, it becomes at is equal to v minus u. If we shift minus u over the other side, it becomes at plus u is equal to v. If we rearrange this equation, then we get v equals to u plus at. Now, what is this? V equals to u plus at is your first equation of motion. So kindly remember first equation of motion, v equals to u plus at, and hence it is derived graphically. Let us derive second equation of motion graphically. For that, we have to consider an object moving from A to B. This would be the graph similar as that of derivation for equation 1. So we consider that the object has traveled some distance s in time t under the uniform acceleration. Here, you know, in the velocity time graph, the distance is given by the area under the velocity time graph. If you see a polygon here, you will be able to see two polygons, one triangle and one rectangle, which are combining to form a trapezium. So the distance is given by the area of OABC, which is area of trapezium. You can also write it as area of rectangle OADC plus area of triangle ABD. Now, do you know what is the length, what is the area of rectangle? Do you know what is the area of rectangle? It is length into breadth. So, what is length of the rectangle? It is OA. And what is breadth of the rectangle? It is OC. And do you know what is the area of triangle? It is half base into height. So what is base here? It is a right angle triangle. So we take AD as base and we take BD as height. So it goes OA into OC is equals to half base into height, AD into BD. Just put the values as OA is equals to U. You put AD is equals to T and you put BD is equals to AT. Now the question arises over here. Here it is written BD is equals to V minus U. You can see BD is written V minus U, but here we are taking BD as AT. Why is it so? It is because if we use first equation of motion, which was V equals to U plus AT, you can always write V minus U is equals to AT. Hence, in place of V minus U, we are writing AT whenever we have to substitute BD. Let us substitute the values. So we get S equals to UT plus half. AT was T and BD was AT. So if you multiply and simplify it, you get S equals to UT plus half AT square. Now what is this UT plus half AT square? This is your second equation of motion. S equal to UT plus half AT square is your second equation of motion. Let us see how to derive third equation of motion graphically. For that, the graph would remain same. That means an object is moving from point A to point B and is accelerating in time t. Here it changes its velocity from initial velocity u to final velocity v. From the velocity time graph as shown, the distance traveled by the object in time t moving under the uniform acceleration a is given by the area enclosed within the trapezium. Yes, it is given by the area enclosed under the graph, and if you see the polygon over here, you will see a trapezium. So do you know what is the area of trapezium? Yes, everybody of us know this. It is half sum of parallel sides into height. Now what are the parallel sides in this trapezium? If you see this trapezium, you will see that OA is parallel to BC and the height is either OC or AD, anyone you can take. Let us substitute the values. You will get half sum of parallel sides, that is OA plus BC, and height, that is OC. Now you know what you have to substitute. Substitute OA is equals to U, BC is equals to V, OC is equals to T. After substituting the values, we get S is equal to half V plus U into T. Now do you remember what was third equation of motion? Third equation of motion was 2as v square minus u square. Now in that there is no use of t. So what we do? We substitute the value of t from first equation of motion. So from the velocity time relation, that means the first equation of motion, we have t is equals to v minus u upon a. This we have just rearranged the first equation of motion. First equation of motion was v is equal to u plus at. Here, if you shift v over this side, you get v minus u is equals to at. Now, if you shift a over this side, you get v minus u upon a is equals to t. From here, we will substitute the value of t in the given equation. Okay? So, we are substituting the values of equation 2 in equation number 1, and what we get? We get s equal to u plus v minus u upon 2a. If we just rearrange the value in the first bracket, then you get s equals to v plus u v minus u upon 2a. Now do you remember, are you able to relate this with anything which you have studied in class 8? Yes, you have studied algebraic expressions and algebraic identities. One of the algebraic identities is very similar to this, and that algebraic identity is a plus b into a minus b is equals to a square minus b square. That we are going to substitute in the numerator, and we get s is equal to v square minus u square upon 2a. Now only one thing is left, just shifting the denominator 2a over the other side. You get 2as is equals to v square minus u square. And what is this? This is your third equation of motion. Hence, third equation of motion, 2as equals to v square minus u square is derived. Let us revise again the equation for velocity time relation. V equals to u plus at. Equation of for position time relation, s equal to ut plus half at square. Equation for position velocity relation, 2as equals to v square minus u square. These were the three equations of motion which we have recently derived. Now there is a question for all of you. How many times is the athlete changing its direction to reach back to its initial position? Let us try to understand with the first one. It is a triangle, so first, second, third. It changes its position 3 times. That means 3, and the number of sides are also 3. Okay. In the second one, it changes its position 1, 2, 3, 4, and the number of sides is also 4. Similarly, in the third one 5 and the sixth one 6. Now, what if an object starts from point A and come back to the initial point A after following this path? How many times would the athlete change its direction? This is a difficult question. You know that there is no side in a circle, or you can say that circle has infinite sided polygon. So we say that the athlete is changing its position in every single instant. This is what is circular motion. So it is observed as the number of the sides of the track increases, the athlete has to take turns more and more often. If the athletes move with a constant velocity along a circular path, the only change in the velocity is due to its change in the motion. Do you remember how can we change the velocity? We can change the velocity by changing 2 types. First, either by changing its magnitude or by changing its direction. In this case, magnitude is constant, but the velocity's direction is changing at every single instant. Hence, you can say that this is a accelerated motion. Now we know that circumference of a circle is given by 2 pi r. That means the distance traveled in traveling a whole circle is its circumference, that is 2 pi r. So if we need to calculate the speed, the uniform circular speed, it is accelerated, yes, but it is uniform. Why? Because the magnitude is not changing, or only the direction is changing. So that is V is equal to 2 pi r, which is circumference or the distance upon t. This is what is circular motion. Now, when an object moves in a circular path with a uniform speed, we called it a uniform circular motion. That means only when the direction of the direction of the object is changing, but speed of the object is constant in a circular form, then we call it a uniform circular motion. Let us take a piece of thread and tie a small piece of stone at one of its end. Now what you do, you try to move the stone to describe a circular path with a constant speed by holding the thread at your hand. Now let the stone go by releasing the thread. Can you tell the direction in which the stone is moving? This particular thing which I have just read is a activity given in your book in the last page of this chapter. Try it at home, but make sure that you use a light stone or something light, maybe an eraser or something. Do not use an actual stone, otherwise it may harm your loved ones. Okay, so what happens when the stone moves along a straight line tangential to the circular path? Why? Because when the stone is in circular motion, it is changing its velocity at every single time because it is connected with the string. The moment the string is cut, you can see it is cut from here, then it is free to move. So it follows the last direction of its motion, and that was straight line. So it moves along a straight line which is tangential to the circular path.